Hello! Just because somebody said they liked the first chapter, I was going to release the next chapter tomorrow, but screw it. Let's release it today. I'm recording it live about 10 minutes after the person commented, which is... I thought, why not? So, chapter 2 of my unreleased book, My Real Name. Chapter 2, My Real Name. To say I didn't want to wake up was a point of fact. If I was still breathing, she would still be in danger. I was being cruel, I knew, but she would forget me and move on. This is why I know I truly loved her. My eyes opened with a flicker as a soft, warm light entered my eyes. I felt my body starting to come back to life. The first thing I felt was a dull pain in my arm, the dead pain. Sorry, gotta write that. The first thing I felt was a dull pain in my right arm. The dead pain inflictor had done his job well. Take it easy. You've been out for a while, said a soft feminine voice with a tinge of a Middle Eastern accent. From what I could tell, I was in a soft, warm bed. I looked down the bed to see my arm had a drip inserted into it. Then I turned my head to look at the direction the voice was coming from. My compliments. Nobody has ever pissed off Jarson like you did, the black-haired woman said, sitting at an oak table with a plate of food in front of her. I feel sorry for him. At least he did not see it coming, he said to her with a sardonic tone. I really did feel pity for Jarson. He might even have lived if he just shot me in the head, but it took too much time. That is why he was dead. The woman smiled. Very clever on finding his weak point. Jarson has taken on special forces in the same situation and broken them. But with you, he snapped. She said with a tone of admiration in her voice. I felt like I had to sit up, and my body responded with a smooth motion as I sat up on the hospital bed, and I swung my legs over the side, finally able to see the room which was to be my new pit that I had been chucked down. To say I had been in less well-finished hotel rooms would be saying nothing. There was a bookcase filled with books, most of them in Arabic, judging from the font. There was a basin which had gold trim. The chair close to the table where she was sitting was a plush recliner and soft furnishings. Okay, you're higher up the chain then, I said in a soft tone, knowing that for me that was not a good thing. She smiled, nodding to the table in front of me. Please take a seat, she said with an inviting tone. Stepping down onto the soft shag pile carpet, I felt the warmth through my feet. I looked down at my feet, then looked up at her. Water or electric underfloor heating? I said as I grabbed the stand that had the drip. That the drip was attached to, and started to use it as a way to steady myself as I sat on the soft chair next to the table. Water, which is in addition to the heating system, with a surprised tone in her voice. Getting comfortable in the chair, I said, not cheap, in an impressed tone. You're not a professional at all, are you? she said, with a tone of understanding in her voice. No, I have never put a heating system in, but I know quality, I said with a cocky tone. She sat back in her chair and smiled. Unfortunately, I would not test my... Unfortunately, I wanted to test my new drugs on you, but I do not think that will be needed, she said with a slight apprehension. Before you put more drugs in me than a world-class Olympian, who am I addressing? I said, hoping to at least get a name out of this. My name is Jezere, wife of Jarson, she said in a cold tone as she took out a vial and a syringe. That put a smile on her face. That scares you more than any pain you've ever had so far, Jezere said with a warm tone, like she was asking for a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Yes, it does. That is what you did to your husband. What the hell are you going to do to me? I said, knowing my voice was telling her everything she wanted to know about my state of mind. She walked around and injected the green liquid into the drip feed. You're an interesting man. I think I will enjoy what you have to say, Jezere said with a smug tone. I could feel the new drug working. I blinked. The room was spinning slowly. It took 3 revolutions and slowed to a stop. Would you like something to eat? Jezere said, with a sardonic joy in her tone. I tried to concentrate on her face. Yes, what have you got? I said, with my head feeling like it was being dissolved, and all my mental barriers were being dissolved with this drug. How about lamb kofta? Jezere said, looking at the cold plate of food. What is that? I asked, with a drone-like emotionless tone. Lamb balls fried with the tomato sauce, Jezere spoke with the sound of someone who enjoys the meal. Okay, ask me what you want. I think you can get the truth from me. My tone was of someone who has given up resisting. Jezere spoke into a walkie-talkie as she took it off her belt in her language. Coke, she said, with enthusiasm. I nodded. Jezere spoke a few more words, then put it back on her belt after getting a confirmation from the other man. So the drug has taken effect. My first question is simple. What is your name? Jezere said in a soft tone, like she was talking to a child. My name is James. The pain that started to exude from every part of my body was incredible. If you lie, you will feel that pain. What was the lie you were going to say to me, and what is your real name? Jezere said, her eyes looking into my mind as I heard her words. My lie name was James T. Kirk, I said with my words coming out slowly as the pain subsided. I said the truth. Jezere held up her hand in a traditional Vulcan greeting. My real name is Marcus Trent. That's chapter 2. Screw it, I'm going to do chapter 3 as well. Chapter 3 is quite long, so it's going to be quite an interesting thing. Just so that you know, I have misspelt Marcus. I spell it Markus. So there you go. Chapter 3. Time slows. So you're Marcus Trent, Desiree said, taking out her phone, tapping in a few keys and then looking at what was on the screen. So you're a YouTuber, Desiree said, not looking up from her phone, an Android smartphone, but I could not think what make it was. Yes, you could say that, I said, feeling defeated. So tell me the story, Desiree said finally, looking up from her phone. I smiled. As if I have no choice. I think I must. Sorry, I'm just scrolling down the page. With a light amount of resignation in my voice. I am Marcus Trent, a medium-sized YouTuber influencer who makes videos. My tone was of someone making a well-rehearsed speech. Let me stop you there. How did you meet the spy? Desiree said with a raised eyebrow to emphasize her point, and a small smile, almost letting me know that she was proud of me for picking up on that she had left the question open. Oh, spoil sport, I said with a slight smile. At least Desiree was being courteous, even when I was playing her around. I doubt I would have gotten away with that, with whoever these people were. She was even-tempered and seemed to enjoy not being infuriated, but letting me try my tricks. The worst thing about Desiree was that I am not a professional spy or merc or soldier, and she was methodical, patient, and intelligent. For them, she must be a nightmare. From the way she was interrogating me using her own drugs, her own style, I could tell she read all the manuals and thrown them away, or never read a manual and fell into the job with her own style. She loved it. I could tell. I could feel. She loved it. I could tell. I began telling Desiree the truth from my own point of view, of how I met the spy. So this is how I met her. A friend who I had met through Twitter had financed me to go to E3, even strangely booking the hotel, telling me the trip was on her. After seeing the third day of the event, I was coming back to the hotel feeling whacked out, having picked up a burger and a small selection of sushi for a video. She looked at me with a smile. Burger and sushi? Well, have you never thought what they would both taste like? She shrugged. Anyway, I leant against the elevator wall, or is it bulkhead? Just as the door was about to shut, a tall woman who, from what I could tell, was wearing a hoodie over her head and cheap sunglasses, put her arm in to stop the elevator. It almost reminded me of a monster from a B movie. In my tired state, I apologise, saying you do not need the lift. Well, you do a 5-block run and see if you need the elevator. My apologies. Holding my bag of food, I stepped to the control. Floor 10, she said, tapping her watch, which was definitely an Apple product, paying her no mind. The door closed and I went back to the wall of the lift. To say she had a nice ass was an understatement. I shook my head. I'm not a pig, saying, not knowing that I was saying that out loud. I was shocked when the fitness woman spoke. "I barely know you," she said matter-of-factly. "Sorry, I'm tired and you're very voluptuous." My inner caveman was showing. I looked at the indicator for my floor, praying to God I could get out of here. The woman took out her phone and tapped something, and then the world went dark. "Are you okay?" a female voice said. "Come on, wake up." That voice was... I know that voice. I opened my eyes to see the back of the fitness woman's... sorry. Oh, I don't know why. Sorry about that. Come on, wake up. That voice. I know that voice. I opened my eyes to see the back of the fitness woman. Had blonde hair down to her shoulders. She turned to face me. "Oh, thank God," she said, looking at me rather worried. I blinked. "No." I shook my head. I must be dreaming. Saying that without thinking as I looked at Yvonne Trester. She smiled slightly, with still a pained look on her face. "You're not dreaming," Trester said with a bit of worry in her voice. Shaking my head a bit to make sure it did not fall off, I looked round. I was on the floor of the elevator, and I felt like hell. I was more worried about Trester. She seemed to have been shaken up by this. The only light was her phone. "You okay?" I asked her, with a warm, comforting tone in my voice. "Yes, I'm fine," she snapped back. I got up. "No, you're not. Tell me what is up," I said with a soft, reassuring tone. Sorry, I just gotta... Her eyes became daggers. "I said I'm fine. Leave it," Tressa said with a venom dripping from her voice. She turned away. There was something about the way she was acting that I could not put my finger on, but I knew it was a burden to her. "My name is Marcus Trent. I can see you're in distress. You have my word as an English gentleman that whatever happens in here will not become tabloid gossip." Tressa turned around, her perfect face to face me as I finished my promise. "Thank you. I'm sorry for snapping at you. My name is Yvonne Tressiter. I know. I've enjoyed your acting in games and TV and films. But that is beside the point. You are finding this difficult. Can you tell me why, so I can help, if I can?" I said with a confident tone. To put it bluntly, I was trying to show off. If Tressiter was sitting at a bar alone, and I was the only other person in the bar, I would not go up to her. Tressiter is not an A-list celebrity, but in my eyes, she is one of the most incredible women in the world. She has a slightly nerdy streak to her, but looking at her, you would not know that. Walking on a catwalk in Paris, New York, Milan would be a walk in a park for her. For me, personally, it would be my idea of hell. Tressiter is the woman of my dreams, and here I am stuck in that lift with her, so no man or woman would not understand me trying to show off my best side. Jezero spoke up. "Did you think you had a hope in hell?" she said with a bemused tone. I smiled at the brunette. "None at all," saying it with the true conviction in my voice. She smiled. "You should be proud that you know your limits." Jezero, my limits are just above a rotting zombie, saying that with a smile on my face. "May I go on?" "You're too hard on yourself, but please, do go on." Cesare said, holding back a grin, barely. Trista looked shocked at my interruption of her. I doubt it very much that you can help me, but I was once trapped in a lift with no light for 3 hours. Trista spoke with a hint of fear in her voice. I nodded. Do you mind if I try? Saying that with a soft tone. Hey, it's your time to waste. Trista said with a coy tone. Tell me what car you would most like to drive if you had the chance. Saying with a calming voice. I looked into her blue eyes. She smiled. A Jag E-Type, Trista said with pride and slight sense of joy in her voice. Looking into her eyes was just like looking into the wormhole to another world. You do know what a Jag is, Trista said with a tone of someone talking to a piece of advanced consumer technology, asking it to make a cheeseburger and ending up with a tax return for a Middle Eastern gangster instead. Sorry, yes, a Jag E-Type. A classic. I approve. May I recommend a convertible? Now pick your paint style. Saying it to Trista with a slight sound of pride. Saying that to Trista with a slight sound of pride that this woman that I have found very attractive had a knowledge of cars that was not just it has 4 wheels and comes in pink. You think I should go for a bright pink or a soft pale pink? Trista said with a soft, overly feminine tone. So this is what it feels like to have view on someone crushed like an egg being driven over by a tank, I said with a heavy heart. Well, you did stare into my eyes, so revenge is Well, you did stare into my eyes, so revenge is a dish best served pink, Trista said with a gleeful percussionist in her voice. My heart swelled hearing the jab at me. Your wit is refreshing and sharp as a diamond. I didn't even want to know what you would tell me if I stared at your cleavage, saying that with a soft, apologetic tone. She smiled. Oh, I think I can forgive you. Saying it like she knew I was forgiving her for anything. I would forgive her for anything she did. Silver with chrome accents on the bumper and classic wheels, Trista said with assurances in her knowledge. Taking my phone out, I tapped the application and searched for Jag E-Type. Now close your eyes and imagine you are walking out of this hotel onto the ground floor wearing a cocktail dress. Blood red Louis Vuitton with black Manolo Blahnik shoes, Trista said with a smile on her face and a soft tone of remembering her most prized dress. The outfit you wore to the premiere of Hard Rush, excellent taste. But I think you would look ravishing wearing a bin bag and a Chinese noodle box on your head as a hat. Saying that with a creepy tone, trying to make her forget my knowledge of her wardrobe with the anecdote. I might try it, but what am I doing outside in my favourite dress? Trista said. I tapped the button on my phone, and the sound of V12 Jaguar E-Type emanates from the phone. Well, I bought you the car you want to drive, I said with a warm, inviting tone. I tapped the sound to turn the car off, and then tapped the sound to open and shut the door. The top is down for a lovely relaxing drive, and I throw you the keys. Trista raises her hand and catches in a catching motion. She also had a quizzical but bright look on her face. So what are you wearing? I looked at her oddly. This is about you, not me, trying to get her back on track. Well, I have to know what you would be wearing. There's an encouraging tone from me to describe what I would wear. A pair of dark trousers and a shirt, saying it quickly to get her back on track. Well, I have got to know what you'd be wearing, with encouraging tone to describe. Oh, sorry, gone a different place. Hold up there. What type of shirt? What shade of trousers? Does it have a pattern? Tressida said, eager for what I would say. Tressida said, eager for what I would say, baked in her tone of voice. Relenting. Okay, a clean white shirt, short-sleeved, showing a bit of arm hair, with a dark cord trousers. Tressida raised an eyebrow. Jewelry? Maybe a Rolex? God forbid. An Omega, please. I'm not a flashy bastard. Cutting Tressida off before she said Breitling, the only watch that you can call for help with. My apologies. But Omega would suit you, Tressida said reassuringly. I open the door for you and look away as you step into the driver's seat of the E-Type, softly telling her to get in the car. Well, get in then, Tressida responded. I smiled. Okay. I get into the car and close the door and look at your incredible face and smile. Saying this made me smile. I know a good sushi restaurant. Let us drive there, Tressida said with a joyful perkiness that I could not quite understand. She described the drive. We drive along the seafront to the small sushi cafe on the boardwalk, Tressida said with a beaming, bemused tone. I interrupt her, surreptitiously getting out of the bag. I interrupt her, surreptitiously getting out of my bag the box of sushi as I speak. We get taken into a small room in the back for a more private and secluded meal, and I order. Now open your hand. Tressida opens her hand. I gently place a California roll on her hand. Open your eyes, I say, in a soft romantic tone. She opens her blue eyes as she looks down at the hand and sees the California roll. Are you a wizard? She says, like she was looking at something that should not be there. We wizards can all magic sushi out of thin air, saying this playing along with her tone. I take out 14 pieces of sushi box I picked up less than 10 minutes ago from the restaurant. May I? Tressida said, looking at me with a slight look of relief. We are at a restaurant and we are having sushi, I replied. She ate the California roll. Her eyes closed as I saw her eat the piece of sushi. She finished the piece and spoke. Jorketto? Corgetto? My mind went blank for a few seconds. How in the name of God? Saying it in a dumbfounded tone of pure astonishment, Tressida opened her eyes and smiled. I know my sushi restaurants. I showed her the box and placed it in her hands. You deserve this more than I do, saying it like I was saying a granny to suck eggs. I will pay you back for the box, Tressida said with a serious yet joyful tone. I looked at her harshly. Please do not insult me. Consider it a gift for being in your august presence. Saying this in a tone that was harsher than I wanted it to be. She blinked. Well, that is a first. Tressa said, as she sat down on the hard marble floor of the elevator. Sorry, I get nervous when talking to women 1,000,000 times above my league. Saying that in almost a nervous but very pathetic tone, Tressa crossed her legs and laid the books on her lap. So, should I be worried that you might have a shrine to me in your basement? She spoke in a warm tone. I took out the burger. Barely a shelf, I said as I sat down on the cold marble floor of the elevator. So, what have you got on your shelf? Tressa said as she took a crab roll and took her bite, sounding intrigued in me a bit. I knew it had to pass. Well, there's a pair of your underwear, and some of your hair from one of your visits to a hairdresser, and a tampon. Saying this in a serious tone, her response was, Shame, I was going to let you have my lacy black panties I'm wearing. Tressa said with a sad look on her face, making me cough hard. And as she saw me looking with pure horror, I was kidding, saying that between hard-laboured breaths as I tried to get my breath back. I was not, Tressa said with a devilish smile, her blue eyes sparkling in the light of the mobile phones that lit up the lift. You're going to be the death of me, saying that, my mouth feeling rather dry. I go to the bag and pull out a can of Coke. I look at her and smile. Like one? I'm sorry it's not the spring water you deserve, but I can't. But best I can do. I say mockingly, not really thinking. Thank you, we can share it if you like, Tressa said, invigorated by the sight of a drink. I looked down to see another ice-cold Coke in the bag. My inner dark side is saying to me, share, you'll never kiss her, so share a can and maybe taste her lipstick on the can. My more controlled side saying, no, you can have one for yourself. Do not be creepy. No thanks, got one myself. Confident in my decision, but still wondering what she would taste like. And shaking that thought out of my mind, I see her open the can as I look at her drink the Coke, tilting her head back, and I see a bead of condensation trickle down her throat to her cleavage. I close my eyes. Well, now I know what women see in the Diet Coke adverts, smiling sheepishly, looking away, hearing the can being sat down. I open my eyes and try to get the smug grin off my face. So, how much money would you pay me to let you follow the bead of water with your tongue? Tressa said with a serious tone. I look at her face which has a copy of the smile I had when I gawked at her with the condensation running down her throat. Do not play with me, woman, I said with a harsh but playful tone. Sorry, but you're cute when you're trying to get a look at me, Tressa said with a soft but humorous tone. Yes, I know I'm a pig for looking at you like that, saying that as if, yes, I am a perv. A small chuckle escapes her lips. She tilts her head back. Like women do not look at hot men like you do. Her tone was comforting. Anyway, you have put my mind at ease. True warmth was emanating from her voice. You're a woman that I would move a mountain, one rock at a time, to make sure she had a sunlit stroll. My mind caught up with what I said. I looked at Tressa's supermodel face. Do you realise how sappy what you just said was? Tressa said with a smile on her face, showing her amusement. Well, Yvonne, can you blame me? A guy from the most sappy, pathetic Well, Yvonne, can you blame me? A guy from the most sappy, pathetic chat-up lines in the history of the world, saying this more to ease my own discomfort than hers. Please call me Trester, not Yvonne. Her voice was soft in the way that I only understood later. Oh, have I offended you, Trester? I'm sorry, saying these words in a slight muted, more gentle tone. Yes, you did. Only people I do not call friends call me Yvonne. I consider you a friend, so please call me Trester. She said those words as if she was offended that I did not class her as a friend. To be honest, Trester, I do not think that is appropriate. You barely know me. For all you know, I could be an insane person who wants to wear your skin as a new suit. Saying that was hard on me, but I knew that a woman like her would never even talk to me in a bar if I was bar staff. I must insist you call me Trester. And besides, you have given me sushi and a drink, and have made me feel a lot better about the situation we're in, Trester said, her last word turning into a slight chattering of teeth. I smiled and took off my suit jacket. I leant over and put it on Trester, tucking her arms in. This might warm you up a bit, I said to Trester with a cool air, putting a chill in my body. But I didn't care one bit, placing my jacket over her grey sweatshirt. But you'll be cold, Trester said, with still chattering teeth. I do not care. Trester was about to speak when I put my hand up. That is my final word I will say about it. She looked at me and smiled. Thank you, her body getting a bit warmer. But her lack of... Don't know why. Thank you, her body getting a bit warmer by the lack of chattering teeth. She looked at me. Come closer, Trester said, with an eager voice. I slid closer. Then she sat on my lap. I hate the cold floor, Trester said with a triumphant joy. You know I'd let you get away with murder now, Trester smiled. Why would I murder a comfortable warm chair? Trester's warm tone made me smile. Shall we get some sleep? I said to her with a smile. Yeah, I was going to go to bed after a shower anyway, said Trester, in a kind of a sleepy tone. Sorry, I just got to scroll down. It's a long document. Sleepy tone. Shall we get some sleep? I said to her with a smile. Yeah, I was going to go to bed after a shower anyway, said Trester, in a kind of sleepy tone. My mind screamed, why did you have to say taking a shower? She rested against my chest. I saw her close her eyes. I do not mind the hole in your trousers, so as long as your intentions are honourable, Trester said with a serious but playful tone. My intentions are to be the best makeshift pillow for a woman who needs one, so she can keep warm. The side effect of your beauty is the pole, of which I apologise and assume you will relax with time, but it being you, I do not have much hope, if any, I said, trying to get the rather large erection to go the fuck away with some rather mental gymnastics. Trester's head rested on my shoulder. She used my body as a pillow. I fell asleep resting my head on the bulkhead of the lift. My mind finally agreed. They are bulkheads, not walls. I rested my head on the back bulkhead. End of the chapter. That is a long fucking thing. This book is not anywhere near ready. It's not that I haven't done more than like 3 chapters. I've done quite a bit, but it's it's messy, to say the least. So put your thoughts in the comments. I know one person liked it, more than one person likes it. I'm still going to do it. If just one person likes it, I'll still do it. Oh, by the way, I'll tell you the price right now. £1.50 for a book written by me. I am not charging you more than £1.50 on Amazon. So, tell me what you think.